Hello, dear students, dilettantes, doubtless, one and all. I greet you from a position of exhaustion and delight, fatigue and bliss, for you see, a newly born child has graced my family with her presence. Now, all this is to say that I'm real tired, and so I'm writing extra loquaciously. Garrulous though I may be, my sesquipedalian tendencies tend to lean towards the benign, albeit prolix at times. Though when I am faced with a burdensome haze, a veritable fog of lassitude, enervating me as it is, the sleeplessness of the nights, my inner verbosity makes manifest and hurls its ugly head right round, like a record, in fact, right round, round, round. Now, today in class, you'll be starting work on your illuminated manuscript project, which is what you are seeing examples of here. All the writing in this project will be done in black letter. Textura, the hand we've been learning. This is, after all, the final for the black letter Textura unit, so it follows that you'll be writing in black letter style. An overview of the assignment before I get into the specifics. You will be making an illuminated manuscript, which is one of these, like the cool medieval book pages that you think of with fairy tales and stuff. There's going to be one big letter at the beginning, and then it'll be decorated and illustrated, and then there'll also be a border around the text. Then there will be lyrics to a song or a quote from a book that you like written in the remaining space. You will need to use guidelines. You will need to use guidelines. Why would you not use guidelines? No reason. The guidelines are used for more than just keeping the letters straight. The whole style is dependent on proper use of the guidelines. Luckily, you all know how to make a guideline template. You made one for the italic style we use, those little thin cream papers. And so now you're going to make one for this black letter style, 2, 5, and 2. However, you'll make this one a little bit differently. You'll combine the ascender and the descender, and that way you can utilize the space most efficiently. And let me show you what I'm talking about here. So, normally you have an ascender, an X height, and a descender. And what you're going to do is, there we go. You can see here there's the ascender, the X height, and the descender. And I've shown here, oops, how each letter is, I know what I'll do. I'll point like this. Ah, here's what I'll do. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So you can see here the red is the ascender, the blue is the descender. But you can also see that there's no space in between, and I am using the ascender or the descender for this as the ascender for this. It's the same one. In the past, what we have done is we have done this. You see how we did 2, 5, and 2, and then a space, and then 2, 5, and 2. Well, that uses an awful lot of area, and I don't want you guys to do that this time. I want you to do it like this. I want you to overlap it 2, 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, 2, not 2, 5, 2, space 2, 5, 2. You can't use nearly as much space here, but here you can use the descender line of the top guideline as the ascender line for the bottom. So this is how you're going to be doing it for your project. Um, Now, when I say illuminated manuscript, that just means decorated. Originally, when this phrase was coined, illuminated manuscript meant they used like gold ink and or gold leaf, and so the pages would literally be illuminated whenever the light hit. You can see an example, you know, there, although you can't really see the gold. This is a good example. It's contemporary, but you can see that gold. Um, Now, we're not going to be using gold. we're just going to be decorating it. So yeah, so it just means decorated basically. I want to show you guys some examples of this stuff. Um, this is a example from the Middle Ages, and you can see the gold leaf on there. You can also see they used black letter, textura quadrata style even, which is nice to see. But there's that big letter in the top left, and then words, and then there's a border around all of the sides. Um, and same here. The border goes all the way around in a square on this one, but this is also textura quadrata. Another example here, illuminated letter there with a border, and then the words. You only need to have one column of text, but this is another great example. This is contemporary. Someone did this recently, but it's beautiful. You can see the gold. I'd like your letters to be a little bit bigger than this one, but other than that, I think this is a great example as well. So there are a bunch of really good examples here. I will include some of them on Canvas, but I also want to show you some examples and ideas of illuminated letters, these decorated letters you can do. I do want you to base them on the black letter style that we're learning. So I wouldn't want your B to look like this one, for example. I'd want it to be a black letter B, but the way you're decorating it around is totally fine. And what you'll do is you will just go online and find an example of a letter that you like and try to do something similar. Um, and I'll give you more detail on that next class, because today you're not going to be worrying about that too much. But this is a great black letter F. It's a great example of illuminating a letter. So here's some more examples. So I'll scroll through here real quick just to let you guys see. And you can see there's a whole variety of ways of going about it. It can be pretty simple. It can be pretty ornate. It can be, oh yeah, this is a great way of showing the guidelines. So this, I didn't do this one. This was one I just found, but you can see everyone uses guidelines, because if you don't use the guidelines, you can't line up your text properly. So that's a great example of that being done. Same here, you can see they did their borders and their guidelines there. So that's what ours is going to end up looking kind of like. So here are some more examples of illuminated manuscripts from history and from others, as well as illuminated letters. And then in the next video, I am going to show you what a finished, or at least somewhat finished, um, one of these will look like. So something along these lines, and granted, much of this is unfinished. See? But that's kind of the idea. Now, I'm going to stop this video and we'll get back to it.